we're having a brief meeting on Facebook where we make the introduction of this process, and we talk a little bit about the theme of tonight. And if you want to continue with this, you can join us on the link that is in the description of the video. There you can join the whole process, which is 8 days of beautiful sharing that we do together, 8 days of powerful meditation, eight days of uplifting the frequency, and of sharing methods and insights on how to keep your pranic flow stable throughout your life. In this process, we're following or aiming at raising our consciousness. It's the final goal of it is not the permanent ceasing of the eating process. So many people that I've interviewed and many people that I've been with in my pranic journeys and in the festivals and events that I participate in and organized are not people that have ceased to eat and never touched food again. There are people that have had the pranic experience and are having the consciousness of how to be in this pranic state, and yet they are free to still taste physical food if they want to, and I'm one of them. So even though I know how the body feels with being on prana, and I know how it feels to be nourished by source, and I fully trust that source is nourishing us, I still have the freedom, if I want to, or if I'm guided to, especially because I no longer necessarily want anything, if I'm guided to, I can still taste stuff, and that makes the life juicy, and then that makes it beautiful. And the freedom is the most important thing to have, actually. If you're in a concept of either eating or not eating, of being spiritual or being this or being that, you're still caught in a frame, you're still in a box, you're still not free. The freedom is when we can navigate through all states, we can navigate through all ways of being, and we can navigate through all areas of or levels of consciousness and still stay stable in our true self, in our hearts. And that's the aim or the purpose of this process. So it's an 8 days training where we share various methods that I've practiced and that Ascended Masters have recommended, and then my colleagues have also practiced, that keeps us in a high frequency, high vibration, and a constant pranic flow. And in this pranic flow, you can choose to either cease your food intake or continue to taste something now and then, or adjust your rhythm according to the social rhythms that you're in, according to your family gatherings, according to whatever you need to do in this world also. Because I'm going to tell you a secret now, which probably has been, told to you by others as well, that we don't have a goal in being pranic. This is not a goal. This is a blueprint. This is something you're born with. This is something you've done before. This is something you've had in your previous lifetimes as well. And this is why those of you who are interested in this are called to follow this path, or be interested, learn about it, and so on. Because you know to your core that this is true, because you know you've had this experience before, you've manifested this state before, you've experienced it before, and in this lifetime you might or might not need to do it again, but you're called to it because it's like flowing through your blood, it's flowing through your energy stream, and it's your natural state. However, if it's not in your blueprint to be fully pranic in this lifestyle, if you have chosen a life that might be, more social, or where you need to raise a family and be in a certain vibrational state in that family, or you need to, like I do, bridge spirituality and science and various other um, levels of consciousness all together into unity, it might be necessary that in this lifetime you don't cease eating or drinking altogether. It might be necessary that you play with frequencies, and be a while on prana, and then a while on juices, and then a while on vegan food, and then back on prana, according to what you have to do. And that's also pranic lifestyle. That does not exclude the fact that you are nourished by prana, that you are connected to source, that you are in a pranic flow. So I want to demystify, first and foremost, the myths about what pranic nourishment is and what being pranic is. And even colleagues of mine and friends of mine who have been many years without food and liquid, like Victor Truviano or Olga Prodorovskaya, have gone back to liquids when it was necessary for them to be more social, or to attend more events, or to maybe, how to say, adjust their frequency to the city life, because it's very different when you live in a forest, like Victor has done for many years. And then when you're in the city, it might be a little, you might need to be adjusting your frequency a little bit. Not that the city disturbs you, but it's easier to integrate, or to blend in the frequency of the city without you disturbing, or impacting the fields too strongly, because some people in the city are not maybe all prepared to have you there. And that's also something very important to know. That is not only about how the environment is impacting you, or, oh, this is too dense, and this is to this, and this is to that, and I can be there and I cannot be in the other side, and so on. It's also about how you are impacting the environment. And this is something that not so many people, if any, are talking about, especially in pranic world. Is it really that in a certain environment you are meant to be fully pranic? Or is it better in that specific environment that you need to bridge with, or to bring a frequency in, you might take a glass of water, or a bowl of soup? I will tell you a story to exemplify this. And because during my life, I've been knowing for 10 years of this reality, and I've migrated from omnivorous to vegetarian to vegan to juices and so on. And I've had times when I couldn't swallow any liquids even, and I had this pranic state, imbued in my veins. I've felt how it feels to not only not need, but not even tolerate external nourishment in certain moments. And I'm still getting into those states, and in those states I can't even look at water, it seems dense. But I also have states and moments where I can eat fries without having any problem. If it's necessary to talk to someone that is, or to bridge certain frequencies, I just do it and my body feels nothing. So I've learned and trained my body to adjust, from invisibility to visibility, from being present in one place to being present in several places at the time, from, being unidimensional to being multidimensional, and so on. Because I want to, I feel I am limitless, and I know I am limitless, and I have this possibility, and why not practice it? And I was, to get to the point, because I don't want to expand too much of this conversation. I was in US, invited to give a speech at the Resonance Academy last summer. And I was, hi Neta, so happy to see you here. Hopefully we'll see you in the process soon. I was there and I was mostly in this pranic state. The first few days, the maximum I could take was some turmeric ginger drink that they had, there at the cafe. It was something that I would dilute with water, and it would give me a sense of, tuning into to what was going on there. But I noticed that because everybody else was having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I was the only one in the gathering that was sitting at a table with a cup in my hand, that people would instantly go when whatever table I would choose. And there were people that loved me and old friends and people who knew me for a long time and people who were new to me. But all of them would go into some sort of silence or awkwardness when I would sit down and sit for half an hour with uh, just a drink. They wouldn't ask me anything. They wouldn't make any comments, but they were like sitting like in a church or being very silent. I would feel that my frequency or my presence was shifting a little bit the whole uh, the whole gathering, and we weren't really able to relate very much at the same time. s- some of them weren't really interested or weren't interested at all in pranic nourishment. They were doing their things. They were in science. They were in astrophysics. They were in various other topics that were interesting to them. So there wasn't a bridge between us at that moment. And I wasn't feeling bad about it because I like to sit in silence at a table and just watch and listen. I don't necessarily need attention. But I was told or guided, like you're not here to be withdrawn. You're not here to be to separate yourself. You're here to blend. You're here to bring something that the others can relate to and to bridge it with them. That's what my inner guidance has said. And I asked, how do I do this? What should I do? Okay, I said, I'm giving a conference tomorrow. Everyone can hear about it if they're interested. And my inner guidance say, no, you have to blend. And I'm like, what does blending mean? How do I blend? I mean, what should I do? And I was guided towards the stand where all the food was, and there were piles of very good food there, and most of it vegetarian, because there were really conscious people at the gathering. But I wasn't feeling the need of tasting anything, and I wasn't even, happy to choose anything. I mean, I wasn't tempted at anything, and I was guided towards a stand that had some big pots, and I was hearing the word soup. So there was one of the soups was much lighter, was something made of vegetables, or I don't remember. There was a clear soup like this, and I was guided to like take half a spoon, half a, that spoon for soup. I don't know how to call it in English. To take half of it and put it in a bowl and add lemon and add water and drink that thing during the lunch with a spoon, like as if I was eating something. And I did it, and I didn't say no because my body wouldn't contract. When I'm not meant to take something, my body would contract if I take it from the shelf. But at that thing, since I was exactly guided the combination, I just took it and I drank it or ate it with a spoon like this. And I noticed that when I sat at the same table with that thing in front of me, and when people noticed me eating, or at least that's what it seemed I was doing, uh, they suddenly started to relax. Also, my vibration was more relaxed, more not relaxed, more gentle, more normal, more human, so to speak. It sweetens when I take something that is warm and that is you know, even, yeah, soup helps a lot. I usually take miso at home. And in the presence of that specific vibration, they could relax and they could start conversations, and they could even ask questions about how this pranic nourishment works and what do you do and how do you integrate. And then we finally blended. So that was the blending that I was told about. And then the next few days, they kept seeing me, you know, choosing very, very light things like that, like some tea with some herbs in it, or some soup with a little lemon in it, or whatever combination I would do that I was guided to, you know, mostly drinking. Um, it was perfect for everyone. And then more people came to the conference because they could relate, like, okay, so it's something that is doable, it's something that is mild, it's something that is organic, it's not something that just completely takes you out of this world. And you know, they could frame it in their heads in a way that was acceptable for them. And it became interesting, and it became, like I said, relatable. So that's why I'm again saying that in this lifetime, it might not be for you to completely withdraw from society or completely withdraw from taking something. And if that's your path, then you might have that involve family, that you know, you need to keep a certain vibration with them. And in that state, and probably somebody in the gathering is getting goosebumps as we speak, because I feel I'm talking for somebody in a specific way. And you can type yes in the comments if it's you. I would love to hear that. If it's the case for you, then it's not necessary to beat yourself up, or to feel guilty, or to feel unworthy, or to feel inappropriate if you've been on prana for a month or two, or I don't know how much, and then you've chosen to taste something from time to time, or to take a soup from time to time, or to take some vegan food from time to time. And if that feels okay with your body, and if that feels okay with the whole thing, and if it's only your mind that is trying to resist it, then maybe it would be better to not trust your mind that much and to let it go. And to accept and integrate and you know, um, how to say this, embody what you need to be at the moment without aiming for a goal, again, like I said last night. So if somebody resonates with this, I would love to hear your comments or takes on it. I feel to some it is very useful that I say this, because the paradigms in the breatharian world, in the pranic world, are sometimes very harsh. And it's like food is a drug, you shouldn't touch it. When you've done a process, you should be fully on prana, this and that. And you know, it's a little far-fetched to say the least, and it's a little extreme to say the least. And yes, there are people who are in the state of not taking food and not taking water, but it took a while. I mean, it took some practice. Like, if I'm looking at Elitom, one of my best friends, he's been gradually moving into prana for some years, and he's been sharing about his cravings about avocado, and you know, binging in the fridge, and all the stuff, you know, that we all did. Like, what the heck? And then he moved into being solely on liquids. And last time we met in India 2 years ago, he was on liquids, and you know, vegan or non-vegan liquids. And then for 2 years after that journey, he moved into being free from liquids as well. So now he's playing with the dry state where he's not drinking. And but after 15 years of being on prana, he moved into that state. And in these 15 years, he has daily practiced. I was sensing it for you. Thank you for confirming. I was just, you were coming to my mind. Your notes. Thank you. And probably there's others too. But going back to Elitom, in these 15 years, he has constantly practiced. Like that guy has not stopped. Every day qigong, every day meditation, every day sharing with people, which is also a spiritual practice, because you're doing your dharma or your mission every day, every day, every day practice, you know. And for me, it's the same. I started as a kid to meditate. I practice every day as a kid. I stopped for 10 years. And 10 years ago, when I started, I never had one day until today, not one day, I promise you, without meditation. I cannot function if I don't meditate. I don't know what to do in this world without meditation. Like, I wake up in the morning, and if I don't meditate and get guidance, I don't go out the door, or don't even, get out of my bed, because what's the next step? And when you're in this state, and when you're in autopilot, like not doing things from your mind, you can't do the next step unless it comes to you. you know it must come to you. You must be guided what the next step is. Otherwise, you don't know what to do. And there are days where honestly I just lay my body down, and it feels totally natural to just lay there, or in my hammock or somewhere, because there's no necessity to do anything else. And when something else is necessary to be done, my body naturally moves towards that thing, either the computer to write a message, or the phone that is ringing right after, or something like this. And that's living in communion, that's living in divine guidance, or in connection with your true self. You don't do anything from the state of must, from the state of I should. I cannot, you know, I don't say I hate, but I don't like the should. When I hear the should, like I should be on pranamay now, I should do this and that, I should. That's such pressure, and that's such burden. Yeah, somebody is on the should mode listening now. That's such a burden, that's such a pressure for yourself and for your spirit. Your spirit can't do its job because you're in the should mode, and you're not letting things flow. You're shoulding all day long. And so let's leave the should aside, and hello, Heather. let's let's leave the should aside then. I get a big smile on Zoom over for this should thing. Let's leave the should aside and just be. The being thing that everybody that's been through a spiritual journey and got it. Everybody's talking about the be thing. Like, this thing only occurs when you stay centered in yourself, and this centering into yourself is usually done through meditation. Sometimes walking in nature helps, sometimes listening to music helps, sometimes even watching a good movie that totally relaxes your mind helps. But meditation is crucial. And I haven't stressed too much on it in the first webinar. I just touched on it, and I said all the Ascended Masters are recommending it. Today, it seems meditation comes up first, because there's so many people, and I'm saying this without judging, of course, but I'm just reminding you, there's so many people who finish a process, and no, they start a process maybe without even having had any preparation before, without any detox, without any spiritual practice, or maybe they've done meditation every once in a while, or one retreat once in a while, but they haven't been diligent in their work at home, or in their spiritual path at home. So they jump straight into a process. And if it's the 21 day, like, it's, oh my God, it's so heavy for the body, so difficult for the mind, and extremely difficult for the emotional, because no cleaning has been done. And you're just jumping, like it's like jumping in ice cold water with your clothes on. You can't really swim. The clothes are gonna stick to your body, and you can't easily get out if the ice is there. So if you had taken your clothes off, like, detoxing your body a little bit, your emotions a little bit, in your mind a little bit, it would be easier to dive into the water. And if you had done some breath before diving, or some fire breath, it would even be much easier because you would have the capacity to warm your body regardless of the temperature. And you can stay in the water even if ice cold. It's the same with the process. If you jump into the process with all your layers on, it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. Not this process. This is the mild one. This is the pampering one. This is the one that organically moves you through and give the shedding the layers. And it's also giving you the methods to keep up with it at home after we finish. But if you jump into a harsher one, and you still have the layers on, it's hurting. And it, most of you watch, because you've been in processes like this. And it's hurting through the process because you have a lot to shed, and the body has pains, or it has discomfort, or it dreams of all these foods, or this and that. And it hurts after because you can't stabilize and you can stick with what you've experienced, the pranic state, or being without food. And it hurts after because you're wondering yourself, why am I still needing food? Why am I still thinking of it? Why? Whereas the opposite of this is when you have shed most of your layers and have done your practice at home, and you've done your cleansing and your detox that I was talking about yesterday. And yes, you jump into a process, it cleanses you even more. So it's no longer that ice cold water. Your body can easily adapt your temperature even. And after you get out of it, if you still continue to practice, you can even stabilize and integrate. So that would be a natural, organic, harmonious way to be. Like, for my example, what happened was that in let's start like this. 10 years ago, I started to meditate again. I meditated for 3 years, from 2009 to 2000. And after a whole year of deep detox, at the deep detox, like I was just eating sometimes carrot, or very meditation every day, yoga every day, qigong every day, a lot of detox also. Darkroom means 10 days light and constant meditation, or pineal and the DMT, and you start getting more into the visions and the constant practice. That has been my transition point, so to speak. I wasn't going in there to be pranic. I wasn't even thinking of being in, getting out of there and not eating anymore. I've met Jasmine 4 years before the darkroom, and every year I've been in her conferences. Never have I aimed to be on prana. I was just aiming to be aligned with source, and I was practicing. The practice is the pranic practices, but just for source connection. I wasn't interested in anything else, and I still am not. And I went into the darkroom with the same for the same purpose. Oh, like, let's have a rest from external stimuli for 10 days and dive deeper. That was my only aim. When I get out of there, I was a little skinnier, to say the truth, because it was the first time when I wasn't eating anything for 10 days. But also I was aware of my multidimensional nature, which was above and beyond any looks or any aspects or anything like that. I tasted some vegan stuff when I got out, because I was in a very beautiful place with a very beautiful organic restaurant in Thailand. And after I got back home, where I withdrawn again, in a few days, I withdrawn again from society and I went back home, I went naturally on prana. Without aiming for it, without wanting it, I couldn't eat. And I couldn't eat 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 30 days, 40 days, maybe. I was some days taking a glass of juice, either apple or carrot, but sometimes half a glass, sometimes 1 glass. Some days I couldn't eat or I couldn't take juice or water because my neck wasn't tolerating anything. So everything I would try to drink would hurt or feel heavy. I can't explain. It was not really pain, but it would constrict, and the whole digestive would constrict, it contract. It wouldn't be possible. So in those days, it was only Amrita that could flow through, and it was perfect. And I was in the state of superflow, and I was still working, still going to roller skates, still going to long walks, still having events with 300 people that were eating omnivorous food. I was organizing the events, but not able to eat, and I wasn't setting a goal for myself to not eat for another 10 days or so. I was just naturally waking up and not feeling to take anything. So to me, that's the natural pranic state. When your body naturally doesn't want and doesn't crave and doesn't think. One day I tried to take physical food, not because I was feeling hungry, not because I was wanting to, but because I was having pressure from somebody that was monitoring my chakras, that was saying that he doesn't, he wasn't used to this type of system because people don't have this type of system around him. And he was saying that it's unnatural and it doesn't look normal and I should eat and this and that. So I said, okay, I will try. Because I was not aiming at anything, I made something and I tasted one tomato from that thing that was vegan, and I crawled on the floor for the next few hours because my body was in extreme pain. So I prayed. That was the only thing I could do until the pain has disappeared. So I went and, shove it all away, and then my body could finally relax from that pain. And I remember that night, it was the first night that I was so grateful, like literally very grateful that I have a body that is functioning normally without pain after having had this amount of turmoil. So naturally, it happened. And naturally, when I had to get back into a more common state, I don't know the reason. I don't, inquire why. I started to take, again, small amounts of vegan food, very small, back then in 2013. And that was my transition back to normal life at that time. Also natural, without having any guilt, without having any problems in my body of, if I would try to eat more than I was guided, I would get bloated, of course, back then. And that's how I learned my rhythm. And from then on, whenever the state is kicking back naturally, because it is kicking back totally naturally to me, my body just encompasses it completely naturally. I don't have to do anything. I don't put myself through dry fast or through any type of I do detox constantly, even to this day, because it's necessary, because I travel through many countries. And even if I don't eat from these countries, I know that, for example, the parasites you can take from water or from, not washing your hands all the time, or even, it's good to be doing a parasite cleanse at least twice a year. It's good to be doing a colon cleanse. I do it quite often, and so on. Even if you're only on juices, it's still good. It still feels great, and I still do it. And I detox whenever I feel so. And naturally, my body anyway detoxes, through the days that I only have prana circulating. But if I choose to take anything like juices or smoothies or some olives I'm still eating, or sometimes cashews or almonds like that, it just feels when it's cluttered and I drink sauerkraut juice or aloe vera juice and it's all going out and it's all clean after that. So naturally, all natural. I don't force myself into anything. I don't push myself into anything, and I don't feel guilty for anything in this frame. Nowadays, more than ever, I feel to do everything liquid. It's much better for me, and it's much easier also. And my Easter cooking, everybody cooks on Easter, and we're just celebrating now in Romania. It's the third day of Easter. My Easter cooking on Sunday was a mix of pineapple, strawberry, and ginger that I've diluted, and was like a cup like this, and I've diluted it and drank it throughout the day. And another smoothie of some green leaves with sour kraut juice. Oh, yeah, sauerkraut juice that I've also diluted, and some of it I had it in the next day as well. I couldn't drink the whole cup. That was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Easter, and it was more than enough. And I didn't miss the Easter cookies or the Easter foods or the Easter traditions. I don't, care about that. And I met my neighbors, and we all talked about what each one has prepared at home, and so on and so forth. But I'm good. I like it. I am enjoying it. One of my neighbors has brought me some cookie that was homemade. I tasted a little bit the next day. I still have the whole cookie in my uh, kitchen closet. If ever I would feel to eat it, I would try, but at the moment I don't feel to. So that's a natural state. I hope you resonate with it. I'm just telling what is and how natural it can be, because I know you're expecting, you, some people are expecting that a pranic person never does these things, or never does a smoothie or a blended thing, or ever takes only teas or water. But I'm telling you the truth so that you know that in this state you can still be harmonious and you can still be yourself. And I'm doing 5 or 6 pranic projects per year with hundreds and thousands of people. I'm feeling blissful every day, most of the days. I'm having ideas running through my body, coming from source all the time. We're good. Like, this is a good state to be in, and it's also feels like freedom because I put no pressure on myself. I'm just telling you the story, and but also transmissioning the state of how it feels and what it is to feel free. And that's the most important thing beyond any stories and beyond any words. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. The Facebook thing is ending now. For those of you who watched and liked it, we are continuing tonight with a beautiful meditation and some more very precious tools for pranic nourishment and for pranic state. For those of you who want to be with us for the whole 8 days, check the link in the comments or in the description of the video and join in. I am now going to take care. I am now going to take care of my participants who are on Zoom and YouTube, because they are deserving and needing my full attention at the moment. And we need to go deeper into this communion and learning about prana. So your link is, just a second, I'm going to place it in the comments before I get out. Is there anyone wanting to add or ask anything on Facebook or on YouTube? Do you have any comments, questions, additional things to say? Let me know if you do. In the meantime, I'm sending you big hugs of love. Those of you who watch on Facebook, hope to see you join us for the full thing and meet me every day and meditate with me very, very deeply. And please know that if you're having any troubles with payments and money issues and this and that, because it does imply an energy exchange in money to participate to the whole thing, and you have the details in the comments. If that is the case, we can arrange multiple payments or something that works for you so that you can be with us. And with that being said, big love to you, and see you on the other side. Send me a message if you want to be with us. And back to the people on Zoom, I see that not many have managed to join. I've shared the Zoom link now because yesterday there were so many people on YouTube that I don't know where they came from. There were much more than I had sent the link to. Maybe somebody else has sent the link further or something like that was happening. I don't know what happened. And so tonight I've chosen to meet on Zoom so that we have private access, not because I don't want more people to be benefiting from this, but because it makes me tired to not having worked on the energy of the participants before we started. And it felt a little uncomfortable yesterday. So Tal Gilboa is supposed to also join in if he is able to, and some others, but if not, they're going to see the recording. Let's see today what needs to flow. What I suggest is we go into the meditation and then we see what else is available for us and is flowing for us today. Sometimes when I'm constantly talking for a whole day, which has happened for several days now with the festival and all, I tend to have my neck getting really dry, and it's necessary for me to drink during the conferences. I found something very good that I'm going to share with you. I just have to look for the word in English because I don't know how to say it. It's a tree that I'm drinking the liquid from. Just a second. In the meantime, just center in your hearts and start following your breaths. And start feeling how it feels to feel in your center and to be in your center. Start feeling how it feels to be feeling your heart. Feel your heart and feel fully how you're fully hosted in your heart. Is that like your heart is your home now? And you're fully entering your heart. And you have a connection column. It's a column from the center of the universe to the center of the earth surrounding you. All the way through your body. From the center of the universe to the center of the earth, all the way through your body, fully surrounding you. With the diameter, like your hand stretched out, it surrounds you fully and flows through every cell of your body, cleansing away all the worries, tensions, concerns, everything that doesn't serve you, everything that's not beneficial for you, everything that doesn't resonate with this gathering at the moment. You're fully present in your heart and fully in this light column. And with the inhale, you inhale more of this love, this light, this color from the light column around you. And with the exhale, you exhale out all the worries, tensions, concerns, everything that doesn't serve you. This column is pre-programmed to dissolve, transmute, transform, absorb, dissolve what is not beneficial for you and what is ready, what you're ready to release. Completely dissolving away in this column of light. Feel this light flowing around you and through you, relaxing the soles of the feet, the ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs, the hips, lower back, upper back, chest, abdomen, arms to the tips of your fingers, shoulder blades, neck, chin, jaws, back of your neck, back of your head, cheekbones, eyebrows to the top of your head. You're fully relaxed now. And you feel that you have a connection cable from the center of the universe coming down to the top of your head, opening your crown chakra, coming down through your pituitary and pineal glands in the center of your head, behind your eyes, coming down through your neck, down through your thyroid gland, coming down into your heart, down into your thymus, which is regulated by your heart center, heart chakra. Opening your thymus, reactivating parts of it that weren't active, maybe. Boosting the immunity system. Thymus pulsating with love now, with compassion, more and more as it receives this love from the center of the universe. Straight in your heart chakra. Feel it expanding. And then your heart chakra is getting brighter and brighter with every breath, like a light bulb or like a sphere of light in the center of your chest. Shining brighter and brighter with every inhale, you receive more and more light into it. With every exhale, this light goes into all your cells or your organs, all your physical system. All your auric field and out into the universe, radiating out from your heart. Big breath in. We ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Deep breath out, exhaling out. Deep breath in. More and more love flowing into your body. through your heart chakra, emanating out into your cells, organs, all your physical system, auric field, and out into the universe. Deeper breath in. This energy is flowing into the lower centers as well, flowing into your solar plexus and sacral chakra and base chakra, and then flowing into your feet, all the way down to the soles of your feet, and flowing down from your feet through your roots. And you see your roots, you sense them, you feel how it feels to have roots. And you check your roots to see if they're healthy on both feet. See the roots growing stronger and stronger. All the way down to the center of the earth. And as you're grounding your roots, you touched with the heart of Gaia, feeling the heart of Gaia, uniting with it, getting deeper into the connection with this mother love. And you therefore align through the heart of the central sun, from which your connection cable is coming down into your heart, and through your heart down into the sun of Gaia, into the core of Gaia. Fully aligned, fully connected. Touching the core of Gaia, receiving the answer back up into your feet, into the soles of the feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, all the way up to your hips, and from your hips all the way up, it goes through the spine into the heart chakra, mixing with the cosmic love from the center of the universe, and then up to the base of the skull and up to the top of your head, fully encompassing your whole body, imbuing your whole body with love from the center of the earth, connecting to the Mother Earth on Earth's Day. Today is the celebration of this Mother that is sending love to us constantly, enriching our elements of our body, supporting our life, creating everything we need that is for our highest good, tolerating our craziness, compassionately supporting our thriving and experimenting here, like the most compassionate and kind mother that there can be. We send love and gratitude to this mother. We hug her love with our love, and our love is hugged with hers. And we're in full communion as we send her love from the heart of the central sun. We see and feel the crown chakra opening as this love springs out through the crown and around our body like a toroidal system. We feel how it feels to have this torus, this sphere around us that is forming like a bioshield now. A bioshield, a biofilter, and a biosphere that is all the way around us, around our auric field, encompassing fully our auric field, keeping away the radiation, the Wi-Fi, the thought forms, the fear forms, the concepts that are not serving us, and only allowing in the energies that are beneficial for us. That's only keeping away the pollution of any kind, physical, mental, or spiritual pollution is not allowed, no longer allowed in our auric field due to this beautiful bioshield that we've just created with the energy from the center of the earth. And we're still in this column of light from the center of the universe to the heart of Gaia, and then we're still in this sphere of light with the energy from the heart of Gaia that surrounds our whole body now. Feel it surrounding you all the way down to the soles of the feet. Feel the energy going all the way down through the soles of the feet of this Mother Earth energy. And slowly we come back. We're fully present in our toes, the soles of the feet. We're coming back into our body, into our ankles, the calves, the knees. We're fully present in our thighs, like a hand within a glove. Our light body is now fully present in our physical body. The hips area, the abdomen, the lower back, the upper back. We're fully present in them. Fully present in the arms, the fingertips, fully present in our beautiful shoulder blades. We're re-inhabiting this human suit. We're fully present in our heads, into the tops of our head, into the tips of our hairs. We're fully present here now. And coming back into our body, we come back into the room. If there are any questions, please ask. You can use the YouTube comments or the Zoom, just unmuting yourself and asking. Or if you want to share how it felt also, you can do so. Of course, if you're still here, if you've drifted away, which is very possible in this meditation. We give thanks to Mother Earth. We send love. Today and tomorrow we celebrate her day, the unified team that you've seen Adam Apollo yesterday and some other friends who have contacted me today, and hopefully they'll be in the festival online. Is preparing a big earth meditation. We're going to share with you on Facebook, and the video about it, it's already shared on my Facebook page. And it's going to be a big global meditation for, with the purpose of giving thanks and sending love to Mother Earth on her birthday, on not birthday, but celebration day. So what we feel to refer regarding this is that in the pranic world, many people forget to ground. Many people forget to literally connect to the earth. They forget or have never known that they're connected to the heart of Gaia, and that Gaia is the planet and the spirit that supports our physical existence, and that the communion and connection with this spirit and with the very embodiment of it, which is the earth itself as the element and as the planetary shape, the communion and connection with this like I'm going to fly through the roof and it happens sometimes, or I feel even a bit too expanded, a bit unfocused like this. Before, my tendency would have been to try some solid food, not much, but just taste, and or to take a hot drink like hot chocolate. That was before. Now I am knowing that the first thing to do is go in the forest or go lay down in the ground. And as I do this, for example, today, after I came from the market and some supermarket that I looked for flowers and this and that, I came back home and I was feeling the necessity to either blend some fruits or do something to ground myself. And the first thing I did, I took my pet and went and sat outside for 45 minutes, laying on the ground. And the end result, as I came back home, I wasn't having any other need. I was fully fulfilled. And my state has changed dramatically in a good way because I was finally very centered, very peaceful, and you've seen me being very silent. Maybe if you were in the Tianyan's conference, who was at 5 o'clock, I didn't even need to speak much because I was so deep centered in my heart and there was nothing to be said at the moment. So it's very easy to get back into balance when you connect back into your roots and connect back into Mother Earth. It's the very entity or spirit or you know presence that is nourishing us and supporting us. And when you don't feel supported or when you don't feel balanced or not know what to do, the next step might be to step on the ground barefoot or to lay on the ground and make it a daily practice, or at least periodical practice, at least once a week, once like this, because it's essential that we reconnect to this essence of Mother Earth. And very interesting, for people that are not living close to nature, and for people that are, it's impossible for them to to go and lay on the ground. Even though in most parks you can do this, I don't know with this seclusion time if it's still possible, but normally you can do this in parks, even in cities. At least I was doing it. But uh, for those who aren't close to nature and it's difficult to ground outside, I've discovered many years ago something very interesting. Like, there's a company, or probably several companies, that make um, sheets for the bed and mats for the sitting at the computer that are connecting to the earth and connected to, grounded into the earth, and they literally bring the energy of the earth under your feet when you sit at a computer. Is that as if you'd type having your feet on the grass, or when you sleep you're connected to earth. And for me it's been an amazing experience. I've had someone making me a grounding kit. It's been an amazing experience to have it and to sit at the computer with my feet on it, or sleep with my feet on it. At the beginning, I even had pains in my ankles and toes because as the energy was finally grounding, which was not happening very often before, as my energy was finally grounding, it was, something was happening, and I would have pains in my feet. After it got used to it, I had an amazing state, and to be constantly grounded while working at the computer, while sleeping at night, it's a very good experience. So for those of you who don't know or don't have the possibility to ground every day outside on a meadow, or somewhere in the park to lay down or to walk barefoot, you can still enjoy grounding by having such a kit, where to work at the computer and to sleep on, which is literally bringing life-saving benefits, because we are, especially if we work on a computer or we sit in these concrete boxes that we call our houses, our body is getting charged with too many positive ions, too many positive, charge. And that's creating inflammation, that's creating excessive acidity in our bodies, and that's creating a not so good energy flow. And the prana cannot circulate harmoniously. But when you are grounded, when you are connecting to the yin energy, to the negative ions, either by sitting or walking barefoot, or uh, bathing in the ocean or in the sea and things like that, the negative ions are recalibrating our state at the mental, emotional, and of course at the physical level. So this guy who has invented these kits, um, he discovered this because he was having great pain in his joints, and he started to lay down on the ground near his house, or under his house actually, below something, I don't remember, but it was winter time and it was in Alaska, so not very easy thing to do. But because his pain were huge, he dig a hole and he sat there every day, and he noticed his pain disappear. And then he asked himself, why was this happening? Start to research, noticed the effects on plants that were growing faster when in contact with the energy of the earth, or flowers in glass that wouldn't perish that fast when grounded. And he made the connection with what happened to him, and then researched more, and he discovered, the importance of negative ions, and he created these kits. I will share a link with you if you need to know more about it, or just go to earthing.com or grounded.com, something like that. But it's important that we ground. It is important that we stay in touch with earth, and it's important that we spend much more time in nature that we normally do, because that's what keeps us connected. That's what keeps us back on track. When we spend too much time inside in the house, which is what the society is doing now, and it's not good at all, the there's a feeling of getting disconnected, of getting ungrounded, of getting less centered, that is affecting people. So that's why spending daily time in nature and spending daily time in contact with the earth, with the actual earth, is life-saving, and it's helping prana circulate in a much, much better way. That's why you see many pranic people either working barefoot all the time, or wearing these shoes with fingers like this, toes in the case of the shoes, because it's really, really crucial to stay grounded. It's part of the pranic lifestyle, and it's part of a healthy lifestyle altogether. And that would be my main topic of today, being in contact with earth, being in contact with your body, being in contact with nature, and changing your mindsets, as I said in the beginning, of what a pranic journey is. And I would love to know your opinion or comments about this. And with that, I'm going to close. And I was promising you that I'm going to tell you what I'm drinking these days. I drank liters and liters and liters of birch sap. I've written it in the comments in case I'm not pronouncing correctly. Birch sap is a liquid. I found it in the supermarket. It comes from a tree, and it's so grounding and recalibrating, and very, very good source of vitamin C, because they're having it combined with ginger and lemon. It's amazing. I think I drank about 20 liters so far since I've started to see it in that supermarket. So in a whole month, at least a liter per day. And I really recommend it. It's very, very good, especially for this time, especially for staying grounded and staying in good immunity, and also detoxing your digestive system. And that's what I would recommend if you find it. If not, at least aloe vera. Aloe vera is amazing, and I said, I think yesterday also, that I just included it in my day-to-day intake. Now, not so much, but for some years it was always present around me. Now, not so much, because now I'm not taking so many things. I'm not using so many things at the moment. But when I feel it, I get it back into my normal diet, into my rhythm, and I can do a week or two of having aloe vera daily. So that's the things to start with. And do you have any questions before we end? Let's see how we are on YouTube. Any questions or comments? Anything to add or ask? Adil from Unify, that is celebrating Earth Day, is connecting with us as well. Very beautiful. So if nothing else is to be said, I hope you've enjoyed the meditation. Yes, it's for you probably that I'm saying this, because I saw it's important, and yes, I think it could be useful to try more of that, especially if you've done many processes and maybe haven't grounded throughout or in between. That would help you a lot, and to keep it as a daily practice, or I can unmute you if you want, so that you don't have to write. There you go. No, it doesn't want to. Do you want to be in silence?
Hi. Hello. Yeah. Probably for a couple of years, I've had a lot of pain. I was very, very fluid. Like my neck, I would say I could turn like an owl almost.
That's nice.
Yeah. And now it's like I can hardly shoulder check driving.
Oh,
So much pain. And yeah.
what changed in your life?
It was when I was going out with this
Guy?
qigong guy, a guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like being sexual.
Hmm?
And then I started having a lot of pain with that about
Something you
less than a month
feel.
into that.
Mm,
So, I don't know if it brought up something from my subconscious or if I took on stuff,
mm.
but I mean that was like 2 years ago, and I haven't been able to, like I would
Shake
wake
it
up
off.
sometimes when I couldn't even move. I thought my whole body was gonna lock up. And this was a
That's it.
qigong teacher that I was with.
It doesn't matter. or,
Yeah.
or or it does, because some of the people that are doing a lot of spiritual work, they can be some of the deepest masters also, for to show us and to bring out what is necessary for us to observe, for that, I recommend healing sessions. I do also this one-on-one process, or I do the second chakra. Ooh, ooh. No, I do the seventh chakra program, where we work each session on one chakra, and so all the seven chakras are assessed, and everything that is hidden in those areas is reassessed and reprogrammed and healed. And that's my other work, apart from the processes online and apart from the festival. So if you need help with that, maybe we go deeper.
Yeah.
But it's good that you've noticed, and yes, grounding helps, but I think it requires some more than that. If you say it's connected to various other aspects, normally yes, grounding helps with body pain in general. It helps with detoxing at the emotional level also. What I also feel to recommend, I don't know if you have it in your country, I just found it in a shop here, especially for stiffness of joints in general, is the oil of magnesium oil. It's magnesium oil.
Mhm.
I just spoke with Gaston, if you know him. He also is using. I haven't known about magnesium oil so far, but I've discovered it in the shop, because I started to have a rash on my skin as soon as I came back home in my country. because of all the restrictions and fears that are in the world at the moment. I started to, as soon as my body processed that, it started to like literally reject it and not being okay with it, with what's happening in the world now, and my skin was itching. And
Yeah.
so yeah, and I asked for help from my spirit, and it took me to a shop, and it, I was walking through the shelves, not wanting anything, you know. The shopkeeper was looking at me weird, and I was guided towards a certain corner where I saw this oil. And when I read the properties, it's really amazing. And also it helped me with not having that thing anymore, or at least it's much milder to almost inexistent at the moment. But also for joint pain and stiffness, it says it's good. You could start with it or doing magnesium baths like this. And if you feel to go deeper into the emotional and mental causes, that's what's available, you know, to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I also tend to take on what's going on the global collective as
Mm-hmm.
well. Like
Mm-hmm.
and so when I treat myself, I'm treating like my body's like the body of Christ, you know?
Yes.
Like I feel like whenever I'm eating, it's not just about me. It's
Mm-hmm.
about can be thousands of people. Or when
Yes.
I'm treating my chest, I use my body like as an offering, like
Ah, yes, yes, yes,
the,
yes. I
the
kind of
collective.
relate
So
to
yeah,
that.
so like yeah, as I'm feeling this stuff about the lung issues on the planet, and I'm feeling it in my lungs, so I have to treat myself, like instead of healing others, I use my body for that,
Yes, yes.
you
But
know. But then it's not very fun for me sometimes, like
it's not fun
so,
at all. um, yes, that's something that is also reprogrammable. Reprogrammable. I don't know how to say. You can reprogram that. That's also a program. So it's sometimes it is necessary, but sometimes not.
yeah.
So for as long as you feel to do it, you can still continue, and when you feel to stop, just maybe there's a way for it. And I've been
Yeah,
through that as well.
yeah, I want to stop because like it's like my it's more like my muscles are holding emotion or something, like they're almost like bridging or something. Some kind of
Uh,
overload.
First start with the magnesium, and we'll go deeper maybe in a session. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, because I would like to not be in first of all in public, in a public conversation with everyone watching, that could impact you, and also because it's much deeper when it's just us. And but I felt guided to say these two things especially for you: the grounding and the magnesium, which is both doing basically similar stuff to the body. Yeah. So thank you very much for being here. I see that all the others are not in the call on Zoom. I hope that everyone gets the recording. I will send the recording to you as well. And see you next evening at 8 p.m. My time, at 8 p.m. Bucharest time, and with the next session. I hope this has been useful for all of you, and sending you much love and blessings. Big hugs.
Thank you.